Brooklyn Independent Television.
How'd they get here, and where did they stay? Brooklyn Eagle journalist John Manbeck will answer these questions for us with a little slice of Brooklyn Heights history.
My name is John Manbeck. I'm a writer. I've just come out with my 7th book called Historic Photos of the Brooklyn Bridge, Turner Publishing. Before that, for 8 years, I was the Brooklyn Borough historian. As a writer, I am also writing a weekly column for the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. And long before that, until 1999, I was a professor of English at Kingsborough Community College in Brooklyn for 32 years. I've published, as I said, 7 books. The most recent one was for the MTA. Essentially, it is a tour of interesting sites along the MTA route. And I did Brooklyn Heights. And it hit most of the important places, including the hotels of Brooklyn. Here we are standing on Montague Street in front of one of the more impressive hotels in Brooklyn Heights, and that is the Hotel Bossert. The Hotel Bossert was built in the late 1920s, and shortly after that had some problems, but it did have its glory days. Certainly it had a ballroom at the top, and it was very, very fashionable for people to go there. And it also had a radio station. It was one of Brooklyn's radio stations. They broadcast from that ballroom at the top. It has a wonderful lobby. Unfortunately, it did in the 1970s or so go out of business, and it was bought by Jehovah's Witnesses, and it became restored. Brooklyn was the first suburb, and particularly Brooklyn Heights, which was the original Brooklyn Village. Now, crossing from Manhattan to Brooklyn initially was by ferry. There were something like 36 ferry lines crossing here, which occasionally bumped into each other in the fog or stopped running when the East River froze over. When the Brooklyn Bridge was created, of course, they crossed the bridge. Where did they go? Business was in the downtown area where Borough Hall, former City Hall, and they had to stay somewhere. Brooklyn Heights was primarily probably residential with the Pierponts, but the Pierponts gridded the area, and the hotels were also here for visitors. We're standing on the promenade, also called the Esplanade officially, which used to be called the Montague Terrace, which essentially was just a block of terrace for observation, so people could come out here and sit and look at Manhattan across there. Before it was the terrace, it also had another purpose. It had a tunnel underneath the area here, going from Montague Street, a very, very busy street. First had horse cars and then cable cars, and the cable car went down from this palisade that we're really on, down to the waterfront, and down there, the Wall Street ferry. And the ferry would take people to and from Manhattan. We're standing at the end of Montague Street, and this is approximately where the tunnel would go under the Montague Terrace. Now you'll notice there is a street sign over there called Montague Terrace, and that was sort of a tribute to the terrace that used to be here before the promenade was here. We're standing on Columbia Heights and in front of the Standish Arms Hotel. Of course, the logo says The Standish because it's gone through several phases, one being as a real hotel built approximately 1920s, 1930s. Notice the height of the building by comparison to the brownstones, which are usually 3 or 4 stories. This goes way up into the sky. In front over the lobby are two reliefs, one of Miles Standish, of course, who the hotel was named after, and the other is the Mayflower, the ship on which he sailed here. We're standing in the lobby of the Remsen, which is a 1929 men's hotel at the time when it was built. The architect who built this, Feldman, also built another hotel at 55 Pierpont Street. This particular building became a residential building in 1930s. It has all the amenities still that the hotels would have, such as the desk behind me, where the concierge still will stay. The elevator has the old-fashioned elevator indicator above the elevator doors. It doesn't work anymore. Right now, it's condos since the 1980s, but it still has the feel of the lobby of a hotel, the Remsen, at 70 Remsen Street. I was born in Brooklyn. I've lived all my life here, except for 2 years I lived overseas in Finland when I was on a Fulbright. And it's done me well, but I feel very warm about Brooklyn Heights and all it has to offer and proximity to the entire world.
Brooklyn Independent Television on the BCAT TV network.